I'm going to have X amount of dollars in the bank so I can go on vacation. Figure out exactly the vacation you want, where you're going to stay, what the Airbnb or the hotel looks like, what the rental car is going to be, what you're going to do. It's just way more specific, and I think it's just going to help you get out of bed in the morning more inspired.
And I think that's because, number one, you have more clarity on the destination, you have more clarity on the ROADs, and you have more clarity on where you currently are. But more importantly, you're more motivated because the goal you chose is more tangible.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed yesterday's episode. One super powerful question to ask yourself when you're overwhelmed. Today, for episode number 1592, is your vision and your goals aligned, or are your vision and your goals aligned? Whichever one of those is grammatically correct. Let's pretend that is the title. I told Alan last week, I said, hey man, I got to come down to your place. We got to be in the same room. We got to do some masterminding. It's been a minute since we've been together. I just feel like we got to do it. And he said, all right, cool. Come on down. So I went down yesterday, and we were having conversations about life, as we often do. We were having conversations about business and podcasting and clients and the future and the past and all this stuff. And I told Alan, I said, I don't want to get into too many details or specifics, but I said, how much more money do we need to make as a business before Tarryn and I can move to a different place? And then we crunched the numbers on it. We figured out, okay, you need X amount of clients, and this is why, and blah, 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 blah. And I woke up today the most motivated I've been in months, probably. And I was trying to figure out why. Nothing really changed. I mean, I got more certainty. Going back to yesterday's episode, I got more certainty.
Clarity.
Mm-hmm. But here's the biggest piece. Before that, I still had the same goal. It was my goal within a quarter to get X amount of new clients. It's always going to be the goal. But that doesn't really mean that much to me. It's not specific enough. It's not connected to something that I value deeply, deeply, deeply at a human level. Mm-hmm. It's cool to say over the next 90 days, this is what we want to accomplish, but I need to attach it to something that I care deeply about internally. Something that is actually tangible, something I can touch, something I can look at, something I can imagine, something I can emotionalize. It's really hard for me to emotionalize a number. So we ended up setting new goals, setting more specific goals, setting more tangible goals based on that conversation. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a different human today. I'm wondering for you, whether you're watching or listening, if that's another way for you to better leverage your goals. Because we've been talking a lot about the Dreamliner and how it helps you break into 90-day goals. And group coaching is 90-day goals, and everything is 90-day goals, 90-day goals. We do a lot of that. And instead of saying, in this 90 days, I want to accomplish blank, what if you said, I want to accomplish this specific thing, maybe regardless of date? Because you said, well, if you accomplish it faster, you get the results faster. Mm-hmm. I'm not even thinking of it as a 90-day goal. I'm thinking of it more as like, this is the complete goal. And then when that happens, I'll set another one. So yeah, that's my thought process, albeit scrambled for this episode.
I'll try to be, I want to break this down. One of the reasons why, so I've talked a little bit about the stats that we did some research. I did some very brief Google research prior to, I just want to be honest, very brief Google research prior to one of our monthly meetups. Our first monthly meetup for 2024 was in January, I think 4th or 2nd or something like that. I think it was the 4th. And I did some research because the title, the topic was setting clear goals for 2024. So we wanted to leverage everyone's inspiration to start the new year off right. It was awesome, great showing, crushed it. But the little bit of research that I did on Google prior to that said that only 5% of people ever set goals. And of those 5%, only 8% ever achieve them. Which to me tells me something. Number one, it tells me people don't believe in themselves that much. Because why would someone who has high self-belief not set goals? But the other thing is goal setting is actually really quite complex, and we make it even more complex. I'll elaborate. So I was on the phone earlier with a client. I was talking about the GPS analogy. I think the GPS analogy is the best for goal setting. There's 3 things a GPS needs. A GPS needs, number 1, a destination address. So if I want to drive to Kevin's place, I need the correct address to his place. Okay. Now, if I want to successfully drive to Kevin's place, my GPS also needs my current location. If my GPS doesn't have my current location, aka self-awareness, then it's going to mess up and screw everything up. It needs to know where I am, and it needs to know where Kevin is exactly, precisely, in order to go from A to B. And the third one, so in this analogy, this metaphor, let's say Kevin's home address is, I'm not going to give your home address, don't worry. Kevin's home address is the destination. That's the goal. Okay, so a clear goal. My current location is where my car is currently located. We'll call that self-awareness. Okay, so the clear goal and self-awareness. So you need to know where you're going and where you are now. And then the other thing that it needs accurate data on the road, the terrain, the roads, the lakes, the hills, the mountains, whatever. It needs accurate data of what's what. One of my clients earlier, I was talking about this. She said, yeah, there's actually, my GPS, there's this one highway where it wants me to take a right into the lake because it's got poor data. It's got messed up data because they changed the highways and they haven't updated the data of the GPS. So that's why most people don't achieve goals. And by the way, to bring this back to the stats rather than 5%, 8%, out of every 1,000 people, 5% of 1,000 is 50. That means 50 people out of every 1,000 actually set a goal. And of those 50, only 4, which is 8%, ever achieve the goal. And so my mind goes, oh my God, I've been setting goals and getting goals my whole life. What makes me different? What is it? And I think my biggest weakness was the self-awareness. I think my self-awareness was low. I think I had good terrain and data on the terrain and the maps and the roads and all that. And I think I had always had clear destinations. Okay? So I think everyone has one of those 3 off, which is why you're not getting your goal. You either don't have a destination plugged into the GPS, so your GPS doesn't know where to go, or you have low self-awareness, so you don't know where your current location is, or you just have outdated data. Like imagine if you got one of those old Garmin's and expected it to be updated with the new roads, the new ROADs. Okay, so to Kevin's point, how do you make a goal tangible enough? And I guess this is the analogy of gas in the tank. Your car needs gas in the tank. Or if you have an electric car, it needs to be charged. And what Kevin was sharing in this episode, pardon me for burping, is that he feels more motivated today. And I think that's because, number 1, you have more clarity on the destination, you have more clarity on the ROADs, and you have more clarity on where you currently are. But more importantly, you're more motivated because the goal you chose is more tangible. The goal you chose is more tangible, meaning it's somewhere you really want to get to. Some number of clients for the end of the quarter is not a destination you're excited about. Disneyland is. So if I said, hey, Kev, in 90 days, if you get up early and you work hard, man, you're going to end up somewhere in Nevada. You're going to be like, sweet, bro. What? But if I say instead, Kev, if you get up early and you crush it, man, I'm telling you, you can end up right at your dream home. You're going to be way more motivated, especially after I show you a picture of it and I, show you the drone footage of the yard. And again, this is an analogy.
Yes, I'm not moving to Las Vegas, I promise.
Yeah, he's not moving to Las Vegas. He's not moving to analogy. Wow. But my point is that you can't emotionalize something that's all clouds and no dirt. It needs to be tangible. Even the Dreamliner, we talked about it for a long time, but now I've got it. I can feel it. Here it is. It's right in front of me. I can talk about it different because I'm using it. I'm using it every single day. So it's just more tangible. And you have to tangibilize your goals.
Hi there. This is Dr. Tarryn McCarthy, and I am the host of the Business of Happiness podcast, which would not be in existence were it not for the one and only Kevin Palmieri. He helped me put it together with his great expertise, and every week his whole team works tirelessly to get these podcasts uploaded to Buzzsprout and to deliver my content to my audience. I am so grateful. I couldn't say enough about him. Please, if this is something you're considering, I highly recommend him.
Tangibilize, is that a word? I like that.
I have no idea.
I like it. Tangerine, it reminds me of.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah. That's really, for me, that's really what I brought. That's kind of the value I came with. I just feel way more, it's very hard to emotionalize a number. So for you, if you're setting goals, maybe instead of, and I don't know, Alan, I would trust you to advise this because you've helped way more people set goals than I, but instead of saying, I want to have X amount of dollars in the bank because you want to buy something, maybe just think of what you want to buy. Or I'm going to have X amount of dollars in the bank so I can go on vacation. Figure out exactly the vacation you want, where you're going to stay, what the Airbnb or the hotel looks like, what the rental car is going to be, what you're going to do. It's just way more specific, and I think it's just going to help you get out of bed in the morning more inspired. It's just way more specific. It's way easier to emotionalize. When we were talking about growing the business, quote unquote, we're always talking about growing the business. But when there was a new car potentially for me, it was way easier for me to hone in and say, if I do blank, this will be the result I get. Maybe that's unique to me. I don't know. But that's
I don't think it
really
is.
okay.
No, it's not.
That
Definitely.
works really, really well.
The car
for
is
me.
unique to you. But everyone has
the
something
specific of it.
Yeah. But like you wanting that BMW is unique to you, but needing something tangible that you emotionally want, that you can really wrap your head around and wrap your emotions around, that's not unique.
So what's the center? This would be my next level nugget. What is the center of the target for you? The target is the goal. Cool. What is the thing that you're going to put? It's a postcard of the vacation. It is a picture of the car. It is the bathing suit you're going to buy yourself when you hit your goal weight, whatever. Print that thing out and put that on the center of your target. And that is the bullseye. And that's what you're throwing your darts at. And that helps you stay inspired for longer because you're able to emotionalize it. Emotionalize the outcome before. We've talked about that many, many, many times. But that would be my next level nugget. A goal is great. Setting a goal to save money is layer one. Then to save money at X amount is layer two. And eventually it's like, okay, why do you want to save money? Like, what does that actually feel like for you? Does it feel like you don't have to stress every night before bed? Like, let's get really, really specific and then make that your bullseye for your goal.
Oh my goodness. Google says, is there a word for the tangible equivalent of visualization? The word visualization is often used to describe an image or interactive piece of media that represents a data set. No, tangibilize is not a word. What is the verb for tangible? Concretized. It needs to be concretized, meaning make concrete, real, or practical. Okay, fair.
Sounds weird. I don't like it.
I like tangibilized better.
Let's just use it.
Let's just use it. We're making up our own words that I know you.
What's your...
We've done that, actually. There's a glossary in the Dreamliner. Jeffin
made
There's
it.
A couple other. Drive to 5 is in there.
Made it
Go
to
ahead.
print. What's your next level nugget, sir?
My next level nugget.
We're all
I
over the
adore
place.
talking about this.
We're all over the place today, you and I.
Got to. I adore talking about this because helping people achieve their goals is one of my favorite things in the entire world. And I think that as a coach, let's say I was Kevin's coach, which in some ways I was yesterday. Here's all I did. I helped Kevin connect the growth of NLU to something that he deeply emotionally wants and fears the opposite. Let me explain. Kevin does not want to stay living where he is. Him and Tarryn have been talking about getting a new place for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So his fear is, I'm going to have to stay here for another year. Okay? So fear is very powerful. So you got to leverage it. Okay? So I'm leveraging Kevin's fear. So his fear is having to stay there longer. All right. His desire is the diametric opposite of that fear, which is to have a new, awesome place. Then the goal we already had at NLU was to grow by 50% this year in terms of gross revenue. So all we had to do, and what does that mean? Increase clients. So all we had to do is say, Kev, if you get X amount of clients, you can get a new place without it burning the business down financially. And so it leverages his fear and his desire towards something that was already good for the world, already good for NLU, already good for me, already good for the whole team, already good for all the listeners. And so it's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win. And I think that's what great coaching is. It's just tying what someone cares about most in terms of fear and desire to harmonize that with the mountain that you're trying to climb.
Strong work.
Thank you, brother. That's my next level nugget.
I figured. That's a next level boulder. You break it up into nuggets. Shout out to all the amazing NLU family members in Fiji. We are on the top charts in Fiji. We've been on the top charts in Fiji for like a month or, I don't know, maybe 2 months. So if you're listening in Fiji right now, shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in from, I don't even know, straight up, I don't even know where Fiji is. It's like way over there. So across the world somewhere, which is very strange.
It is apparently beautiful.
I've heard great things.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard great things. Maybe
I've had the water from the company.
From
Fiji.
the company. Maybe Next Level Live 30. Next Level Live 2030 will be in Fiji.
Nice.
What do you think of that?
That would be sweet. Or the retreat, you mean? The retreat.
All of it. All of it
Next
could
level
be.
Retreat.
All of it could be. Next Level Nation and you listening in Fiji, if you have not yet joined our private Facebook group, Next Level Nation, please do so. It's super positive. There are positive posts every single day. It's a great place to increase your self-awareness. But I know growth can be lonely. You will not be lonely in that group because you'll have the opportunity to meet other people that want to grow just like you. So as always, the link will be in the show notes. We would love to have you. And again, you don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. All you have to be is someone who wants to learn more about yourself. You want to be more self-aware. You're into growth. You want to work on the ego. You want to be more confident. You want to be more consistent. If you listen to this podcast, I'm sure you'd be a great fit. So please click the link in the show notes if you're interested.
We've talked a bit about this. The Dream Liner, it's right here in front of me. I've been using it every single day since I've gotten it. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. What it does is it breaks your huge, big, long-term destinations dreams down into tiny goals, milestones, and inch pebbles. So instead of, hey, I want to drive across the country, it's taking that 3,000-mile journey, so to speak, and breaking it down into goals and milestones of maybe I want to, so in our case, we're, let's say in Boston, driving to LA. So we drive west. And it breaks down state by state. I actually drove across the U.S. back in my early 20s, and I took a picture at all the states that we went through, Columbus, Ohio, all that kind of stuff. And so it's kind of like that, but for your goals and dreams. So hopefully the metaphor lands. And it is simple and something that you can do consistently. I think journaling habits are hard to stick with because they're so large. And so our goal was to keep this as simple as possible so that you can stay as consistent. Otherwise, you'll break promises to yourself and it'll hurt your self-worth and it'll be the opposite effect of what you want. The link will be in the show notes.
Indeed it will. I was just changing the order of episodes to make sure the week flowed nicely. Tomorrow, for episode number 1593, what ball are you dropping? That's my 4-year-old inner dialogue, not being able to read a title without giggling. So we always talk about there's no such thing as balance. Alan likes harmony. I like juggling. I prefer the term juggling because I think one is always falling. You're always letting one fall. I know you had a challenging conversation recently that you talked about a little bit with Emilia, and I would also argue that right now my fitness and my health is doing really well. Work on the business is doing well. My relationship is probably the one that's lagging.
Kevin's inner child is hilarious.
Yeah, no. The second I read it, I said, "You're in trouble here.
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble here."
We're gonna need you to
lock it up.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm gonna try to do the intro without laughing, but that's the thought. If we were juggling, which one of the balls, which one of the scarves, which one of the pins, which one of the chainsaws, whatever it is falling? Because at all times, I think one is. Anything you want to add before we go?
No.
All right.
Thank you all for listening. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
And,
a little giggly at the end. Look, my inner child saw that and he was like, "You're not getting through this."
Yeah, no way. It is what it is. You gotta have fun.
We're gonna expose you. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow, hopefully.
Stay on track. Next Level Nation.